What's up, guys? This is Mason, aka Amiiglows, and I'm here today for Touch Base Podcast Level 7.
And I'm Josue from AmiiboSteal.
And soon we will be having Nintendork at Mr. SpaceHeater, aka the Nintendork, and I don't actually know his real name, so that'll be interesting to find out. But he's at Mr. SpaceHeater on Instagram and Twitter, and I don't know if he's got an Etsy shop as well, and I believe it's still Mr. SpaceHeater. He's pretty well known for he did the Splatoon themed Sonic for the Smash Hunger charity auction that went for a lot of money. It was like the Sonic that had all the glow paint, and so like under lights the paint glowed, which is pretty cool. And he's also well known for doing the Finn and Jake themed Toon Link, Shy Guy Toon Link, Splat Roller Bowser, Dry Bones Bowser. He's done a ton of different customs. So he'll be on a little bit later. He's just running late, but we are short on time today, so we wanted to get started. So today we're gonna cover some news. Like we've been kind of missing past couple weeks. Sorry, guys. Just everybody's been really busy. And we haven't had the time to record. So starting out, I guess Josue, you probably have want to cover the news since you're the AmiiboSteal news story.
Perfect. So before we do start, I kind of want to update you guys on what we've been doing and our current status. So at the moment, life has been a little hectic, and at least in my case, I have to take a break for a little bit doing the Touch Base podcast. Not necessarily am I leaving completely from it. I'm just taking a break from it due to time constraints, especially with everything that's happening in my life and stuff. So it's really unfortunate because I do love doing this podcast and I love to do as much as I can. But time has been very complicated, especially with scheduling. But at least I plan to come on at least one episode a month. At least I'll try to go for that and try to schedule one that we can all do. Very unfortunate, but eventually I will come back. But for now, we're going to have probably a temporary co-host or a permanent one for now. And then I'll jump in as soon as I can, hopefully, in the future. Yeah. So, Amiibo news related, we had pre-orders as of 2 weeks ago. We had pre-orders on Walmart of the Kirby series Amiibo. So placeholders have been up on Amazon, but they haven't gone live yet. So Walmart had pre-orders for them on, I can't remember when, but it was on a Saturday. It was 2 weeks ago. So they're all there. So there is the Metal Knight Amiibo, the Kirby series Amiibo, Waddle Dee, and King Dedede. So if you haven't done so, you can pre-order right now at Walmart, and they should be up for pre-order. Along with that, they're also
they're up at Best Buy too, right?
Yes, they're available. Exactly what I was about to say. They're also available at Best Buy with the summer and winter outfits variants of Isabelle. So they're all there up for pre-order. Actually, Best Buy was one of the first. Yeah, it was the first place to actually have them up for pre-order, if I'm not mistaken. So you can pre-order them either. So Best Buy, if you're a GCU member, you get 20% off savings on Amiibo and video game related merchandise. So you can get it on Best Buy if you have GCU, or you can get it on Walmart. Walmart has been having, they kind of announced they had this like 3-day shipping, which they announced a while back, and now it seems that they finally have implemented it. So you get a 3-day shipping thing. It's about $50 a month. So if that is something that would interest you guys, that's something that's available now at Walmart. But that's what we have so far. There hasn't been any new announcements for Amiibo. It's kind of just been that for pre-orders. But this week we did have the Smash Brothers diorama with the planet, with the Kirby Planet Robobot diorama. So they announced it for Japan. They're coming out in April. We still haven't gotten word whether or not North America is getting any, but they're currently available for pre-order at PlayAsia. Ami, if you guys are familiar with it, did have them up for pre-order really early in the morning. So if you guys are aware of Ami, they put their pre-orders probably around 5 or 4 in the morning Eastern time, and those things go up quick. So if they do go up for pre-order again, we'll make sure to send out a tweet so you guys are aware of that. But they're currently up for pre-order at PlayAsia.
Cool.
So yeah, that's really it for Amiibo news related.
Stuff. Well, I see why the Amiibo newscast is no more.
Shout out to them though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, they're recording the Nintendo Newscast episode 1. I think they're recording that today.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
Oh, and we kind of forgot to mention what day it is. It's Friday, April 8th, for those of you that don't know.
There you go.
The one thing I feel like we should mention with regards to you taking a hiatus from the Touch Base podcast for a little bit is you're not like, you're not like in dire straits or anything. Like nothing really bad that's not why you're leaving. It's just you're really busy and you're trying to make sure everything in the rest of your life is well managed. So
exactly, it's not necessarily like there's anything like really like difficult or something in my life that it's just making me like completely not be able to do it. It's just the scheduling, and it's been very complicated scheduling and everything in my life. So it's really hard right now to like make it a point to be able to get on the podcast and just record on certain days, because sometimes schedules can't be done where it's like when I'm available, like everyone has a different schedule, and I at least want to make sure that I can organize everything that I need to organize so I can get back on and do as much as I can. We've been a little inactive, at least on Twitter, with like pre-orders and stuff. Usually we're very on top of that, so we apologize for that. But we should hopefully be getting on top of that very soon. But yeah, no, nothing dire.
Oh, so I remember one more bit of Amiibo news that's going on is literally right like 20 minutes ago, Mega Man went live used on GameStop's website.
Yes.
Again. And then GameStop's been really good about having like Samus and Kirby and Mega Man going up used like pretty often. Unfortunately, they still haven't put up like Robin or Lucina, but that's because nobody's going to get rid of them if they're in their right mind, unless they have like their entire collection. But there's
something to point out though, and I know that Kick-Ass recently she was able to get like these used amiibo. So they had a little while ago like a Samus used, and it went up on GameStop, and I guess she managed to be able to get 3. I think that's what she said. Mm-hmm. But they got her a Zero Zoo Samus for some reason. So instead of her getting like Samus, it seems, I don't know why GameStop was doing that. I guess they got confused. So that's something at least that I feel like we should make a point. So in case you guys find stuff like that, like a Samus amiibo or whatever, just make sure that it's that when it arrives. So if anything, you can always contact GameStop, because some amiibos, they don't necessarily ship them correctly.
Yeah. So I did my Mega Man. I got a bunch of Mega Man the last time it went live. I didn't grab any this time. I was going to, but the phone was on the fritz. So, but it's not a big deal. So with that, I got Mega Man's kind of hard to mess up. There are 2 versions of Samus, so I can see how like somebody that doesn't know what these are, that's just packaging them from like a warehouse. I could understand why they would get confused. Like they're both literally the same person. It's just a slightly different figure.
Exactly.
Well, not really slightly different, very different, but to us. But somebody that doesn't know the character or doesn't know what it is might get confused. So
yeah, that's true. And sometimes you have people who send it into the stores, or some people who ship it out to GameStop, and sometimes they just put Samus, or people forget that it's like a different variation of Samus. So I guess when it goes into the system, maybe again, if they're not aware of it, then that would happen.
Yeah. So that kind of sucks though. So,
yeah, it really did.
Something kind of cool that's going on is or I've got a cool amiibo story, I guess, from this week. Is I've been trying to get a hold of Mega Man in box, because I want to do, or I've got a customer that wants a Mega Man that has glowing gun and eyes.
Oh wow!
And so Seth Hay made me some box art, but the problem now is I have the Mega Man, but I don't have a box with proper insert to hold the Mega Man properly. So like I could cut the back off one and let it sit there and like tape it down to the bottom or something. But it's not quite the same if it's not like in the proper like molded plastic backer thing. So I called my local GameStop and they were, and I was like, guys, I really need a new Mega Man. I know he's gone up used a bunch of times on your site, but I need a new one. I need the box. Like, honestly, the figure is kind of irrelevant for me at this point. I need the box. And they're like, so let us check. And they checked, and the closest and literally the only brand new Mega Man that they could find in the entire country that GameStop had listed was in New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
And they had one listed, and so this guy at GameStop that was talking with me said, hold on, let me put you on hold, and I'll call the store and ask them if it's true that they actually have a Mega Man. And if they do, I'll ask them if they'll be willing to ship it to our store for you. And long story short, even though this story is fairly long already, I'm getting a brand new Mega Man inbox shipped to my GameStop, and it should be
wow.
And I haven't seen
I didn't.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, I can't believe it.
That's crazy. I didn't know they were able to do that. That's something that wow.
It's not a very typical thing. Like I don't think they're really supposed to do it.
Right.
I think it's supposed to be like, if like used figures is one thing, like, if especially if it's within your district. I know that the local stores will, trade used stock or whatever, fairly regularly. But for like, I think they're gonna, they're probably gonna charge me for the shipping, which is, whatever at this point. I just need the box. But I've actually
that's awesome.
I've got the figure done already, but I'm not gonna show it. Because I'll show you later, but I'm not gonna show our listeners / viewers because it's cool and it works, but it's not quite where I want it to be quite yet.
Okay.
But I'll show you what I've got so far.
Perfect.
Anyway, so shout out to Seth Hay again, literally every podcast.
Yes. Major shout out.
Such amazing box art and doing it for free and like so fast and whatnot. That was my cool amiibo story this week.
That's awesome.
Oh, as far as I guess good segue into state of our collections. You want to go first?
Yeah, so let me start off with this really quickly. We forgot to mention it, and along with the pre-orders and everything that have gone up for like the Kirby series amiibo on Best Buy and Walmart, also we have the Mini and Mario Friends Challenge digital codes that you can get. So they have that available. I wasn't aware of this. I wasn't aware that Target is actually one of the only retailers that actually are not doing you buy the amiibo and you get the slip. So apparently they have it just like in any corner, I guess, from where they sell the amiibos, and you can just pick up the slip for free. That includes the 3DS and Wii U code, something that we weren't necessarily like super, I guess, like we weren't aware if it was going to have one or the other. So at least you know that that's there. They have it at all retailers. So if you go to Amazon and you buy an amiibo from there, you should be getting it with 2 to 3 days. So you'll get an email with the code. So that's available as well. So that's something that we totally forgot to mention. State of collections. Well, as we touched upon the last podcast, I did manage to get that Roy and Ryu amiibo, but other than that, I haven't got anything. But I have been going to my Toys R Us and a couple other stores in my area, and I've been seeing a lot of like the restocks. And to think about that, it's crazy how at one point we barely had any like amiibo or like any Pokemon amiibo, especially like Jigglypuff or Lucario. So I've been seeing that a lot. But that is my state of my collection. It's kind of just there, because we haven't really had too many amiibo that have been announced or have been sold from the time being that, Roy and Ryu and Damicomrom have been released along with the other Animal Crossing amiibo.
Gotcha. So I guess the state of my collection is scattered. So my table is littered with bits and pieces of different amiibo right now. I've got some orders. I've got 2 or 3 orders going on right now. Like just got work going on simultaneously. The Amiibo, I've gotten the first couple pieces back from that.
Wow.
But I'm not going to show them because I don't want anybody to know what they look like yet because you guys are going to have to wait. But I've gotten the piece back from Amiiglows. I've gotten the piece back from AK Shop. And I've gotten the piece back from Mr. SpaceHeater, who will be joining us hopefully soon. But I'm waiting on the pieces from Gondacris, Kick-Ash, Xanark and Sky, and the Game Changers still. And then Ryan Benno is working on a base for me that may or may not be round. Well, we haven't really decided on a solid design for it yet. So But once we've got that done, it's gonna be a crazy looking figure. I can already tell you that.
That's crazy. So okay, so you've gotten the 3 pieces from these 3 amazing custom amiibo artists. So how do they look? Because I know that everyone has been able to put like their little touch into like these pieces. So how different does it look? And like give us a little, I guess, like not necessarily like a little snippet of it, but at least just tell us like, don't tell us exactly what it looks, but tell us your input on it.
2 of the 3 blend really well together, and I didn't expect them to. And luckily, those 2 of the 3 pieces that I've gotten are pieces that attach to each other. So
wow,
the piece from AK Shop and the piece from Amiiglous actually work well together, which was very surprising to me, considering they both have pretty different art styles. And then the piece from Mr. SpaceHeater attaches to the piece from Amiiglous, but not to the piece from AK Shop. And it's just like, well, okay, it's very his style of art, and which is what we wanted. The goal was to have the piece you got was supposed to represent who you are as an artist, was basically the goal. And his piece definitely does that. And actually all the pieces do. However, his art style is very, very different from Amiiglos's. And so the pieces look kind of interesting together. They don't blend quite as well. I'd say they kind of clash a little bit, but it still looks cool. Like, bottom line, the thing's going to be insane looking and just really awesome. But without saying what pieces, who did what and all that, his piece is really cool. He's pretty well known for that glow paint, and this has that glow paint on it. And that's about all I'll say on it. But then the Amiiglous piece, you expect that kind of like cosmic look. It's got that. AK Shop, you never know what you're going to get, and that is definitely held true with this one. When she sent it to me and sent me a photo the first time, I was like, what the heck is that? Like, I didn't recognize the piece that I'd sent her. I was like, you really went all out in modifying this thing. So it's really cool.
That's crazy. So wait, going on with that, a couple weeks, actually 2 weeks ago, same week when the pre-orders went up for the Kirby series amiibo, we posted on Twitter this the female variation of Link, the one that she made. I don't know if you were able to see it.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was like I love her art. Like, I love especially everyone that's collaborating in this project. But big shout outs to her, because honestly, she blew it out of the park. It really looks amazing. So just wanted to send a little shout out for her. Yeah.
So that Linkle was for that charity auction for the Rio-a-thon, which I did Mega Man for.
Yeah.
So. And the customer ended up wanting a purple LED for that, which is pretty typical for the Mega Man that I do.
That's awesome.
So that quick and easy, knocked it out in about an hour, and literally she sent me the person that purchased it contacted me within a couple hours after purchasing, and I asked, what color do you want? And they're like, purple. And then I had it done within a couple hours and sent it out the next morning.
Wow, there you go.
Fastest turnaround time I've ever had for a custom, but from order being placed to completion.
Right, and I mean, like, especially since you've done like a lot of like Mega Man amiibo, I guess it's just by how many times you've done it. I guess the better and faster you get with them.
Exactly, practice makes perfect, and
yeah,
like I've done a lot of Mega Man amiibo. He is my most popular. Palutena is actually not far behind, but I haven't done one in quite a while, and she's a way more difficult figure to work with than Mega Man is. So in this new Mega Man that I'm doing with the eyes lit up is a totally new challenge. So like the gun's still glowing, but I had to wire it, and I've been having issues with that and getting it's got 3 LEDs. It's got one behind each eye and one for the gun. And so, 3 LED figures are a little trickier because the number of coils within the NFC coil will vary depending on basically how much power you're going to need. Oh,
ooh, breaking news! Sorry to interrupt you. So, I just checked right now. We're going to break the news right now. So, Wolflink, okay, so Wolflink just received an additional month of manufacturing along with the Super Mario Yoshi amiibo. So who cares about the Super Mario Yoshi? Like, honestly, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else cares. But interesting, enough, like a Wolflink, could it be a standalone release? Because I mean, they're making
I thought
more.
they had a standalone release already.
Nope, it's been by bundle.
Oh, I thought Best Buy had the standalone at one point.
No, Wolflink has not had a standalone yet. So that's really interesting. So, wow, okay, so let's talk about that. So, the Wolflink amiibo being bundled to the Twilight Princess HD for the Wii U, like, that's the only way that you can currently get it. But with them, like, having bundle exclusives and then releasing them to, like, standalone releases, then this is crazy because, a lot of people have been asking, when are we going to get a standalone release? And maybe this is it. That's awesome. So what do you think about it?
I don't know. By the way, where did you find that?
Okay, so on the Nintendo website, if you put CPSIA, which is the certificate that they have for like child safety and everything, they usually update that when they manufacture more. So if you put cpsia.nintendo.com, you should be able to go into it.
cpsia.nintendo.com.
Yes.
Okay, yes. That works. cpsia.nintendo.com. Perfect.
There you go. So what do you think about it?
I have my Wolflink amiibo that I got with my bundle, and I haven't opened it, mostly because I do an inbox collection as well. But I want to open it so I can mess with it and see if I can make something glow on it. It's going to be probably the most challenging figure I've had yet because of the way it's been made. It has for the wolf like at all. So,
because it's well made to the point that there's like really not much that can be done. But I mean, there's always a way with customs.
Exactly. But yeah, it's a really interesting. That amiibo design is very unique compared to all the other ones, especially with the rock on the base, and all that. So, yeah, that I'm pretty excited about that, and I know a lot of other people, that don't want to pay for the game but still want the amiibo. I still find it really interesting that, it's the only Zelda line amiibo. It's like in the top left corner, we've got the Super Smash ones, we've got Animal Crossing. And it's the only one that's got Zelda at the top. If it was like Zelda, Twilight Princess, Wolflink, I think we might have a Zelda line incoming. I really do.
I wouldn't see why not. A lot of people have been talking about like Zelda Wii U, and we really haven't gotten much word about it. But maybe like especially with like Amiibo, like coming out and stuff, like I wouldn't see why not for the Zelda Wii U game.
Oh, hey, Mr. SpaceHeater here.
What is up?
Hello, welcome to our podcast.
We just had some breaking news happen during the show. So Wolflink and Super Smash Bros. Yoshi just got an additional month of production.
That's great.
That's odd.
Yeah, so we're hoping for a standalone Wolflink amiibo, as well as possibly a Zelda line.
I've been waiting for that and hoping for that.
Yeah. So we've basically just been talking Amiibo news, things that's been going on. And so why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Well, I'm Mr. SpaceHeater, otherwise my real name is Kyle. Lately, all I've been doing is the custom Amiibo thing. I've been hoping to kind of stray away from that and do a little bit more customizing of things other than just Amiibo, but that hasn't really kicked off lately. I've gotten a little bit busy between home life and having to deal with my daughter more, and then with another one on the way now, it's just kind of.
Yes, I saw that announcement, by the way. That was really cool. Congratulations.
Thanks. That was actually my girlfriend's idea for the announcement. I was surprised. She's like, so I've got like 4 ideas, but I got one that I think you're really going to want to run with. She told me about it, and I was like, yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. Yeah,
that's cool. So for those of you that didn't see that, I'll put it up in the video portion, but basically it's his daughter standing beneath like a player 1 press start thing, and then player 2, and then it's got the due date.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, the current due date. It was very cute and a very clever use of video game history, and it was pretty cool. So, Yeah, we talked a little bit about kind of what you're known for, and we've been talking about the Amiibo a little bit. So, because I just got his piece in, and I talked about your stuff, and so I was saying that the piece from Evilos and AK Shop, just by dumb luck and dumb chance, blend like perfectly.
Really?
Yeah, they work perfectly together. And then your piece is kind of like, oh, this is something different. So,
I can't wait to see what everyone else does, because
yeah.
this is so. I mean, besides it just being new, there's so much random chance of what can happen that I'm just like on the edge of my seat for this whole thing.
Yeah, well, and so I know most of what everybody's doing. I'm still waiting to hear back from. Well, okay, the only people I don't know what they're doing is Gonda and Xanark and Sky. So yeah.
But yeah, about the whole Zelda thing, like outside of just waiting for like the new game to come out, which I have a feeling they're gonna release Amiibo for. Like I thought the one standalone, like the Wolf Link Midna, was just. I don't know, like it was cool, but it wasn't enough. Like I expected them to actually have a line instead of just one thrown in.
Yeah, and so I've got the one here. I haven't opened it because I don't have a second one. Because I do inbox and out of box. But you know, like I was noticing that it says Wolf Link Twilight Princess, but it's just got the Legend of Zelda's logo otherwise. So I'm kind of thinking maybe because it says Twilight Princess under Wolf Link, we'll get more Zelda figures or Zelda series figures, and it'll say what game they're from underneath that, rather than like, and it'll just say like Legend of Zelda, say like Ganondorf Wind Waker or whatever.
Which would be sweet, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, but like, that was just an example.
Yeah.
But wishful thinking. So yeah, so there's that. I guess I don't know if you've listened to the podcast before.
I've only heard like
the
stuff.
Okay. So basically, usually we just kind of have artists on. We like to get their take on like how they do their customs. Normally we have a bunch of questions from people. We kind of put this together last minute just to try to get something recorded. So Josue, you wanna run the show for a bit?
Yes. So let's talk about let's talk about like the games that you guys have been playing this week. So any Amiibo-related games that you guys have been playing?
Other than Twilight Princess, not a whole lot. That kind of took all my attention. Like I kind of feel bad about it because I have probably 8 games I have yet to beat that I've bought, like including like Woolly World and stuff. That I just keep getting more games. I get so distracted, and I'm like, I've already beat Twilight Princess back when it first came out, but I'm too dedicated into that already that's been constant.
So I'm the same way. I bought Xenoblade Chronicles X when it came out. I haven't even opened it. It's still in the packaging.
Dude, same page.
Wow.
Same page. I started it. I got the story kicked off, made my character, and that was literally it. And I haven't had time.
Yeah, well, like, I just haven't had any time. Like, I wanted to play some Splatoon this week. I haven't had any time. I played a little bit of Pokemon Yellow, not really Amiibo-related, but Nintendo-related.
Yeah.
But, I played like 5-10 minutes maybe, and then fell asleep. I've had no time for games at all. I've been cranking out orders and dealing with that, and then personal stuff on top of that. Just full-time job and all that.
Yeah.
It's really just haven't had the time for gaming, unfortunately.
I'm with you. I mean, I got the Hyrule Warriors Legends, which I've been playing a little bit too, but I don't really play it at home because when I'm at home, it's either, I come home, take care of family stuff, then we put daughter to bed by like usually 9 or 10, and then I have an hour or two to paint because depending on when I get up the next day, and then I have about a half an hour of gaming time after that before I actually pass out on the couch, and that's usually something Wii U related or PlayStation related. So I play like 3DS at work if we're really slow and I'm not painting, so I haven't even gotten far into Warriors either.
Yeah, I totally understand. So, yeah, as far as your customs go, I'd say you're probably best known for like the glow paint and in that really awesome Finn and Jake Toon Link. I'd say really your Toon Links in general are pretty much what I know you from. Plus all the really awesome like Splatoon themed Sonic, and then your Splat Roller, Bowser, and all that. Like I really love your work. I think you're very talented. So
I appreciate it. I can obviously return that back because when Amiibo first came out and I thought about customizing, I was like, I wonder if you could ever light this up. And then here you come, and I'm like, holy cow, this is it. Like, this is what we've been waiting for. Like,
yeah. To be fair, I didn't come up with the idea. It was done before I came along. There's a guy on Reddit. His username is Jesus Freak, and he's the one that did the Mario Fireball LED custom for the first time.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, you know, he was the first one that did that Mario custom, and then he did like I think he did the Mega Man next, and then he did a couple others. But I messaged him, and I've told this story like 3 times on the podcast already, so I won't go into it too deep. But basically, I contacted him asking him if he would do a commission. He was like, I don't do commissions. And so I was like, okay, that's cool. Can you point me in the direction of somebody that might be able to do a tutorial or teach me how to do this? And he did, and basically I started practicing on a bunch of poor defenseless Marios, and you know, I've got my Mario graveyard over in my my entertainment center with my TV and all my consoles and stuff, and never really looked back. And then I was like, you know what? I bet a lot of people would want this. So I was like, hey, I went to like this Amiibo Hunters of North Carolina Facebook group I was in, which is basically a group that somebody started for like a bunch of people that had met during like an Amiibo hunt. And so I went there and said, hey, would anybody be interested in LED figure or custom figure? And here's what I charge. And they're like, heck yeah. And so I started doing it for just that group. And then they're like, you should really like, and then I posted a few photos on like our Amiibo. And Amiibo Alerts reached out to me and was like, hey, you should get a Twitter because you get a ton of followers and we tweet out your work and everything. And like, I was like, okay, I guess I really don't like Twitter, but you know, that's cool. And so I started Twitter, and then they tweeted my stuff, and before I knew it, I had like 1,500 followers within like 2 days.
Oh yeah.
It was ridiculous. I was like, who are these people that are just following me when I've put out like 2 photos? Like, I didn't understand. So
it's just such a unique concept. Like the rest of us are painting, we're using clay. Like after a while, like everyone got used to that, and no one really thought about anyone coming out with light stuff. And then you did it in bulk, and we were just like, this is, like I said, we all clung to it quick.
Yeah, well, it's cool. So I mean, I enjoy doing them, and you know, I really don't make much money at all off of my customs. You know, I charge around $30 base price for a single LED custom if I don't have to do any sculpting of any sort. And for me, sculpting literally means if I have to hollow out something more than just like a single drill, then I consider that sculpting at that point, because I have to be really careful not to like go through certain parts, things like that. Yeah. But or if I have to, like when I add stuff like the Mewtwo with the thing above the hand, like, you know, I consider that sculpting, and that's actually hot glue too, which is always fun to work with.
Yeah, that's what I'd always assume, because I'd seen people starting to use that a couple months back, and then at first I had no idea what they were doing, and then someone mentioned hot glue, and it all just kind of clicked. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Hot glue. I never thought I've used hot glue in really unusual ways that I never thought I would for customizing. It works. So, and it allows the light to shine through very nicely too, which is cool. We lost Josue again.
I see that.
He'll be back. He'll be back, and in greater numbers. Hopefully not in greater numbers. It's a Star Wars reference. My girlfriend's looking at me like, really?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Anyway.
You can't all that stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, so what are you working on right now? Like, you got anything cool new customs in the works? Like any new concepts or anything?
I'm trying so hard to get some actually new stuff, but I've been having such a hard time with orders that it's been super slow. But I know sometime this week I'm gonna start a new Lucas. I've mentioned it 1,000 times on my Instagram and probably on my YouTube videos, and haven't actually done it yet. But I want to make another Fallout character, but out of Lucas instead of Ness, and not just do like the Vault Ness. Like, I want to do something different. I'm actually gonna give him like the suit from Fallout. So it's gonna be like blue and yellow, and there's gonna be 5, and they're all gonna be different, like different weapons, different numbers from different games, all that stuff. I'm trying to transition from doing my Etsy shop where I just have like listings and you pick which ones you want, how many you want, and I'm gonna try and transition into only so many of one kind, and then either auction or just Instagram sales. instead of so much Etsy based. Because with it being open and being able to take so many orders, that's how I've become so far behind. I had to shut my shop down into vacation mode just to finish these all up because so many people are so far behind. I feel so bad. Like I can't even explain how bad I felt the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, so I have avoided Etsy partially for that reason. Also because I get so much. Actually don't get a ton of orders, but I get enough that like it stresses me out.
Yeah.
Just because it takes me anywhere. Like so, Mega Man's my fastest custom to make, and he only takes about an hour and a half or so to do a whole Mega Man like from start to finish. Anything aside from Mega Man takes me anywhere from 2 to like 12 hours, depending on the custom. So like Robin, Lucina, Palutena, Pit, like some of these more detailed ones where it's like multiple LEDs, I have to, sculpt out a lot of stuff. Those take forever.
Good times.
Yeah. As far as Amiibo news goes, it's not really Amiibo related, but miitomo is out now. Been out for a week or so. And so I just downloaded it the other day. Hey, Josue.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. And he's fine on
perfect.
that.
I don't know what's been happening. Like, it
No,
the car, and I was trying to get on.
So we were just talking about miitomo. So basically, miitomo came out about a week ago. I just joined it the other day. Honestly, I'm not really enjoying it that much. I'm kind of bored with it. Like, it doesn't really do much for me. I've never been into like the whole like Tomodachi life, customize your avatar kind of thing. It's just not something I'm particularly fond of.
Yeah, I gotta say the most enjoyable thing is just like the photo editing, really. Like being able to place your me in photos has been fun. Like the first day or two, like the whole social thing was cool. But once like I got tired of their questions for me and the fact that you can't produce your own questions for other people just kind of it's not as personal. It's kind of forced.
Yeah, I think with my thing with it, it's how it's kind of, at least for me, the only complaint that I really do have, well, there's a couple that I had, probably the minigames, because I would like some more minigames in Miitomo just to make it like more different, and I would hate like the amount of questions that we get, but on top of that, once you get to like a certain like number of friends, it's really hard to find like your closest friends, and especially trying to add people is really hard too, because it doesn't give you like an add or an option. It's kind of just like, okay, well, from the people from your feed, from your Twitter, Facebook, or if you're close to them, like that's the only way you can become friends, or sometimes becoming mutual friends, then that's how you find people. So that's what I don't like really much about the app.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, yeah, I do as well. So I came up with an idea that I think would be really cool. And Nintendo, if you're listening, feel free to steal this and run with it. So it's kind of similar to what Amiiglows was saying in the last podcast, where he was like, have a game where you tap the amiibo in and it unlocks like a mini game or whatever, and like have it Mario Party style or whatever. Miitomo is a smartphone app first and foremost. I mean, that's what it is. Most phones now have NFC readers, so I think it would be really cool if you could scan your amiibo into Miitomo, and it would unlock like a mini game that's exclusive to that figure, or and give it multiple functions. So like, just scan an amiibo and it doesn't have to write anything to it. Just read the amiibo, and it essentially would unlock content. So like, say like this week, scan any Pokemon amiibo and you get this like you get this Pikachu costume or whatever, or no matter what amiibo you scan, but then have during that week where it's like Pokemon themed amiibo week or whatever, you could scan Mewtwo and it would unlock like some mini game. You could scan Lucario, it would be a different mini game. Like, have multiple functions.
I'm all for that, and even just to restrict it a little bit to keep you from going overboard with amiibo, because we all own so many amiibo already. I mean, maybe make it only so many scans a day, even if you want to put restrictions on it. And even without amiibo, I agree that we need more games. Like Drop, first of all, needs more themes. And for being a Nintendo app, I know like Dina, is that how you pronounce the other company? I know that they do a lot of programming and designing and stuff, but why is there so little Nintendo content in a Nintendo app?
Yeah, like there's from my understanding, there's really not much as far as like Nintendo. Like, there's not any like familiar characters really. Like with the 100+ Animal Crossing cards there are, like seriously, turn it into an Animal Crossing game where like you've got your friends coming to visit, scan your Animal Crossing villager card, and that villager comes to visit and asks you a question that's specific to that villager. Like,
that'd be sweet.
Yeah, like it's just another potential thing for functionality that they could do. That it's a fun app. It is. It's not. It's not what I was expecting for their first mobile app, I guess.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm not gonna I'm gonna cut them some slack because I know that it just came out and they have announced like, hey, we have more updates on the way. We definitely want to expand this, but they're so quiet and they don't talk about what those are that it's just hard to speculate what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Nintendo being quiet, the Nintendo NX rumors are always running rampant.
God,
and last episode we mentioned that stupid controller, which
It's fake.
for those of you that don't follow things on the internet but somehow listen to our podcast, that controller was confirmed fake by the people that made the images in the first place. They put out a video showing how they made it and stuff. So it's completely fake. Don't worry. That stupid controller isn't real. But there's all sorts of other rumors going around about the NX, and we're going to kind of avoid them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, so far they all sound so great, but I mean, stop getting our hopes up if we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I still think, Bobby Paul is the geek guru. Actually, now the Nintendo guru. He's trying to rebrand a little bit. He made a really good point in one of his podcasts where he said Nintendo, or maybe it was a tweet or something, whatever it was. He made a really good point. He said Nintendo is hurting themselves by letting all these rumors run rampant, and like not telling us anything. Because I'm probably gonna buy the NX no matter what it is. I'll trade in my Wii U or whatever because I'm a diehard Nintendo fan. But for the people that are like, thinking, oh, I could buy a PS4 and get the new VR headset, or I could buy the NX whenever it comes out, for people that might be on the edge, I could see why they would go ahead and pick the PlayStation because you don't know anything about the NX. Like, you're potentially losing customers by not saying anything. And, they don't come out and squash these rumors. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
And so the silence is deafening, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so, Kyle, here's a good question for you. Do you actually collect Amiibo as well as customize them, or are you just mostly customizing?
I hardcore collect them. I am still missing a few, and that's killing me, and I have to budget.
What are you missing?
I am missing the Meat Fighter 3-pack. I am missing Shulk, which I'm technically still under a trade with somebody for that, but that's been pending for weeks because I need to make his custom for it. I need Mega Yarn Yoshi, and I think that's it.
All right. Well, I've got a box of 4 Shulk sitting in my closet.
Oh my god.
So if that falls through, if you want to just cover retail and shipping, I can get you one of those.
We'll work that out.
Yeah. Meat Fighter 3-packs. I've got 2 extra 3-packs. So.
Well, see, I see them all the time at the store. I just can't afford $35 for Amiibo right now when I'm still hashing out orders and building just house stuff.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, if you have trouble finding them and you need extras, I've got extras of almost everybody.
I appreciate that.
Except for Toon Link. I'm sending my last extra Toon Link to Kick Ash tomorrow. So.
Yeah, I thankfully bought one of him to keep in box at the very beginning. I haven't bought one to open yet, but I've collected all Zelda in box for sure to have their own little spot because Zelda's my niche.
Okay. Cool. So I'm glad that I'm not the only customizer that collects because Gondacris doesn't collect, Evilos doesn't collect. Kikash only collects the ones she likes.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah,
No, you didn't.
so like, most of the customizers we've had on the show don't collect.
That's like how this started. Like I just started buying them, and then I started seeing customers. And I'm like, I can do that. I think.
Yeah, exactly. And so like it's kind of blown me away that a lot of these customizers don't collect.
That's where half my what's the word I'm looking for? Like word of mouth. That's how my name kind of started getting out there. Is I used to hunt all the time, especially for the waves. I would sit out in front of stores, and you would just chat with the people out there, and I would start by asking them, should I do this? And then started seeing what I was doing and telling everybody. So
Yeah. Oh, so do you ever get like recognized? Like you'll be out, like if you go to like a Toys R Us or whatever, and you'll like be in the Amiibo section or whatever, and somebody will be like, "Oh, hey, you did that custom or whatever." Has that ever happened to you?
it's very rare, but it has happened once or twice. Yes.
It happened to me for the first time the other day. I was in GameStop, my regular GameStop, and I was talking to one of the employees because they were getting an Amiibo in for me, and some guy comes up to me and is like, "Do you make the Amiiglows?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, I'm so happy to meet you. That's so cool." And I was like, "This is weird."
Right. It's kind of
Celebrities feel like this is really freaking weird. It's like I don't think like what I do is fun, I guess, but I don't consider myself like big by any means. You know?
Yeah, I don't either. For me, like it's cool. That's why I tweeted the other day. I kind of threw a little joke out about it. I'm like, at this point, I've been so quiet and so out of the way that I've become like that quiet guy in the corner that once in a while I've got something cool to show. For the most part, I'm just there, like doing my thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I got recognized, and that was weird.
The thing that happens more often for me is I'll post a picture or something of either out hunting or doing something in public, and someone will comment and be like, "Wait, is that like here or is that in this particular place?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, that's where I was at." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I live around there. Like I didn't know we lived so close." And I was like, "Yeah, small world, I guess."
That probably happened to me one time too when I was hunting McGregor and Yoshi. I remember just posting a picture of us like just waiting, but it wasn't even like close to like anything. And the person like recognized it, is like, "Is it on this stream?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's right there." And they're like, "Perfect, I'll be there in like 20 minutes." I was like, "Okay."
So I mean, I don't really have much else to talk about today. Is anything you guys want to cover or chat up?
I think one last thing that we can talk about probably it's how Nintendo, they put in a patent for dual NFC reader for Amiibos apparently. So that's something that happened this week.
I don't really know anything about that. I saw it, but I didn't really like read on it. It kind of looked like clickbait, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, or it could, like, it really is just, it depends on if that's something that they announce, but at least something that it's there.
Well, so what is it exactly?
It's kind of like an NFC reader that would be able to read two Amiibos at once.
Oh, so kind of like the Disney Infinity portals.
Yes.
Okay. I've been honestly waiting. I figured at this point they're waiting for the NX, but I've been waiting for them to do a sandbox kind of thing like that they do with Infinity, where you can use any of the Amiibo you want and have your own customized world and play around, and maybe it'd be a little more unique than how Disney's sandbox is. Because as far as I know about it, it's not really that enticing. Like I heard it kind of gets old after a while, but yeah. I've been expecting them to do something similar.
Yeah, I would love for them to do that. What I would really like them to do is do like an overarching storyline where, like, you scan in your Amiibo or whatever, and they join your party. But honestly, be kind of like Kingdom Hearts was back in the day, where you play through and you go through like certain areas that are themed based off certain characters or certain storylines. And so like do like start off with Mario themed storyline, whatever, and you scan your Amiibo in, they're in your party, and do like almost like an RPG kind of thing. Maybe do some like turn-based like strategy combat kind of stuff, where you have to like play through the Mario world, beat Bowser or whatever, and then once you beat Bowser, it then takes you to, I don't know, like Legend of Zelda themed world, and you have to beat that, and like you go through and play through everything, and then once you like unite the realms or whatever, then it's just open world, do what you want. There's like all sorts of mini games, side quests, things like that.
I really hope they're listening now.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. So Nintendo, if you're listening, take that.
Yeah, right. Kind of like Brawl's adventure mode, but actually with substance and not just wowing us with cinematics.
Yes, exactly. And then, like, here's one thing that I hate about modern games: the campaigns are non-existent or crap in 90% of the games that come out now. And so, what I think would really help would be, instead of straight out the box for like a game, you've got your campaign, and then you can go online and play multiplayer or whatever. Make it so you have to go through and play campaign for I don't know, maybe like an hour, like before you're able to get online.
Yeah.
Because that way it gets you into the storyline and it'll make you want to play the campaign more. Because there's a lot of games like Xenoblade Chronicles. You know, I still haven't opened it, but like I know it's a long game, and I've heard the first couple of hours was fairly boring. You know, so I don't really want to start it. Just because. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. That's the hard thing about, for me, is the open world games. Like, a lot of times I still want games to be open world, but I want them to force me to play story mode or to push me in that direction. And I don't mean to stray from Nintendo here, because I know they don't do open world as much as everybody else does, but that's like the whole reason I just can't do Fallout. Like, no offense to people who love the game, I just can't do games where it's so much like searching around for stuff and just kind of wandering. Even Assassin's Creed Unity at that point, like, it's not super open world, but it still is, where searching out for the story mode is just too much work.
Yeah, I agree, but I would love to see something from Nintendo where it's like make the person play like the campaign for a little bit and make it worth your while. Like, and I guess the way I was kind of picturing is like force them to play an hour of campaign or whatever, and then there will be like the open world online multiplayer thing with like quests. I guess. Kind of the way I'm envisioning it is like open world. There's a main campaign, I guess, kind of like a lot of MMORPGs online, in a way, but have it be console based and have it be, you know, the second you log in or you start the game, you're online and there are other players around. Like whoever's on your friends list is like populating the towns, plus like random people from all over the world, kind of thing. And then there's your main campaign that you're going to follow, like I said, fighting through like the Mario themed world, then the Zelda themed world, then Kirby, Star Fox, whatever, you know, and have it be this open world thing, and you can team up with parties of other people. You can add amiibo to your party, or be like make it so you have to have, like to get past certain, or don't make it so you have to have an amiibo, because if you make it so you have to have an amiibo, that just it essentially makes it a paid DLC thing.
Yeah.
Or physical DLC, but you know, make it so you know a boss is next to impossible to beat, unless you're either teamed up with people online or you've got an amiibo helping you.
Yeah.
So like it's doable, but very very difficult without that additional aid. Kind of
sounds like Triforce Heroes.
Yeah, it's really not. It's kind of a combination of a lot of stuff they've been doing. Is kind of the idea I came up with, but you know, my guess is. It's never going to happen.
If we don't get some kind of MMO, I'm going to be so mad. Like for Nintendo, I just feel like on the next generation of consoles, if there is not something online that is very MMO styled, where you can just reach out to other players, and they're not just AIs with like other people's Miiverse comments above them, that they're going to start, I don't know, dying out. Yeah. This feels like a make it or break year for Nintendo. I'm just, at least the console wise.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. For sure. So yeah, we covered state of our collections. We covered all the news that's going on. We talked ideas for Amiibo-related games in the future. We talked about some of your customs. Oh, you know what we didn't do is our custom of the week. So every week we pick a custom from whatever artist we have on. So I guess Kyle, is there a particular custom that you're particularly proud of that you want to show off, or?
I wish I had one with me. I'm not even at home right now.
Oh, okay.
At the moment, I mean, just offhand, trying to think of something. I know my favorite, personally, that I've ever done, not something I've done recently, but I don't know if you've seen the Wind Waker grappling hook link that I ever did.
Yes, I saw that.
That just felt like, of all the ones I've done, that felt the most just legitimate of all the customs I made. Like some of them look cool, the clay looks nice, but the rope on it and the claw itself and just him in the running position, which I didn't have to alter with the terrain, which is the only custom I've ever made terrain for, it just felt the most legit of all the ones I've actually made, and that's the only one I've kept of my own. I haven't kept like any customs I've ever made. It's the only one I've kept is the original.
That's cool. So we'll definitely feature that as the custom Amiibo of the week. So.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. That. Oh yeah. With that potion too. Like that's freaking awesome. That's a beautiful piece of art.
Thanks.
Right there. Yeah, that's really cool. This week our custom Amiibo of the week is one that's been done 35 weeks ago, so it's been done for a while, but it's the grappling hook toon link from our guest host, Mr. SpaceHeater / Nintendork / Kyle.
I need to work on that.
Yeah, I was kind of confused by, like, is it Nintendork or is it Mr. SpaceHeater or...
I've been slowly taking Nintendork away. That was just kind of like the nickname. Mr. SpaceHeater was like the official nickname. Originally, like, my store was called Nintendork Corner, but I wanted to chop that and give a new name because as I get into customizing more, I kind of want to stray from Nintendo just a little bit. Not a lot, but I want to open my world up to new things. I will say, I haven't announced this, but I am about to customize one of those Hot Wheels TIE Fighters from Star Wars. Not sure what I'm going to do to it yet, but it's probably going to be Nintendo themed.
Cool.
I can't wait to see it.
All right. Well, unless you guys have anything you want to add, I think that's pretty much it for this podcast.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I've got nothing out there.
All right, cool. Why don't you do your shout-outs, Kyle, and tell people where they can see all your stuff.
Well, the biggest, easiest place to find me is Instagram. It's just Mr. SpaceHeater, nice and easy. That's where I post the most. That's where I show the most of my stuff, my works in progress. You can find me on Twitter with the same handle. On Facebook, I do have a page called Nintendork Corner. And Etsy is on vacation mode at the time, but otherwise that also is Nintendork Corner.
Awesome. All right, Josue, why don't you lead it since it's your last one for a little bit.
Okay, so this is Josue from AmiiboSteal.
And I'm Mason from Amiiglows.
And I'm Kyle from Mr. SpaceHeater, I guess.
And this has been Touch Base Podcast Level 7.